Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 5 of the Ben.
Is it episode 5?
I think
Yes,
so,
it is.
yeah.
Once again, I'm repping the Streets of Owner merch. So, as per last time, if you find yourself in Bristol, around Bristol, go on Instagram, the Streets of Owner, and then go see them when they're doing their markets. Go order your thing and say, let's do it.
Let's do it.
For a free chip upgrade and halloumi. Lovely stuff.
Lovely stuff. So, yeah, welcome to episode 5 of Ben and John Do Cars, Talk Cars.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. So, haven't got any specific topics this week?
No, slightly different one this time. So we've not got any specific sort of overarching, narratives that we want to go through, but we just thought we'd have a go just freestyling.
Freestyler. What's that song?
Freestyler by Bomb Funk MCs.
Yeah.
Drink. Freestyler.
Yeah, so that's the
Rock
vibe.
the microphone.
That's it. Rock
Yeah.
the microphone, yeah. Anyway.
Straight from the top. Sorry.
So, what things have you brought to the table? Literally.
A mug, a Lego Lamborghini Countach. No. So
Whoa.
there's a few things that I want to mention today. The one main thing is I've trying to keep my eyes open recently.
I've just moved.
I know. That's annoying.
Is it on a wind? Has it got a...
No.
Oh, right, okay.
I've been trying to keep my eyes open recently.
That's always a good thing.
As to other cars on the road.
Yeah.
I find driving that way a lot easier. You hit less stuff. But I've been trying to notice other cars on the road. Because occasionally, the roads these days, 2023,
Busy, mate.
there's busy, but there's just a lot of bland crap.
Oh, my God.
Just
Don't get me
a
started.
lot of Nissan Cash guys.
You do hate the cash guys, don't you?
I do.
But there's a lot of them. You're right. They're everywhere.
But occasionally, you will get rewarded with a little gem.
Yeah.
And if you keep your eyes open for those little gems, it just brightens up my day a little bit.
So what have you spotted this week, then?
Okay, so a couple of things I spotted this week. First of all, I spotted an Audi A3. Not a car that I like particularly,
Okay.
or at all. It was just a pretty boggo spec A3. I don't even think it was an S-Line. But I made a note of this. But it was in a gorgeous green colour.
Ah.
I had to do a double take. It was
Like a British racing green type.
No, it was like a dark turquoise. So I had to go on the Audi website at my first possible chance afterwards because I was like, "What is that colour? It looks amazing." Mm-hmm. And I think it's called Gomera.
Let's have a look.
Gomera. Let me, for audio listeners, this isn't going to do anything, but yeah, it's like a sort of dark greeny, bit of blue in there, and it was just a really interesting colour. It was really pleasing to the eye. Look at that.
Yeah, that's nice. I saw an RS6 at Centre Parks in that colour.
Did you?
Yeah.
It was according to the Audi website, it's an Audi, whatever they call
Special colour.
or exclusive, I think they call it.
Audi only sort of jobber.
Yeah, and
A $3,000 upgrade nonetheless.
something like that, yeah. Which, to be respect to the person who's driving it, because like I say, it was a pretty boggo spec A3, so they clearly really wanted that colour.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought to myself, are we getting to the end of this whole phase of just everything being
White,
white,
black,
silver,
or
grey? Yeah, exactly. Because I'm over it.
I'm over it.
Give me some yellows. Give me some oranges. Give me some greens.
Yeah.
Give me some browns. Give me some
Like,
natural tones.
a lot of Audis, now we're on the subject of Audis, but like you mentioned, it's not even an S-Line, that A3 you saw.
Yeah, I don't think it was anyway.
No,
Yeah,
it doesn't even matter. But a lot of S-Lines are black.
yeah,
You know,
or white.
or white. Or fucking... Well, white or black, really. That's the main two.
Do you know what I
You
think?
occasionally get red ones, which is good. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
the red cars. But the majority, black and white. Boring. Boring.
Do you know what? I've literally just thought of this. Do you know what I think that might be part of it? Partly because of... I don't know what that sentence was constructed like, but do you know why I think the reason that might be the case?
No.
Is I think it's because almost everything, and especially Audis, they're all on PCPs,
Yeah.
hardly any money down.
Yeah.
Someone just wants to buy an Audi,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day,
It's a cost-saving thing.
well, it's not even a cost-saving thing. I think it's more the fact that if your entire monthly outgoing is based on what you hope the residual value of the car is going to be in 3, 4, 5 years,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
you're going to want a safe bet.
Yeah.
Black, white,
Black,
silver,
white.
grey, whatever. So I think
Resale.
that's just pure conjecture, but I think that might be part of it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe all the exciting colours these days are at a premium. So when I spec'd up that M3 when we did the other podcast the other day, you get a bunch of free colours, and they're nice, like a white, a black, a green, a red, like a blue, but nothing really like out of this world different.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
interesting.
all of the premium colours were like that, what you just showed me. Or like that and an orange, or
Yeah,
that and a red, or whatever, but like a really quite deep, interesting colour.
Yeah.
As opposed to a blank colour. But they were like $3,500 options.
That's a lot of money, isn't it?
So if you're speccing up a car and the dealer goes, right, Mr. David, or whatever your name is, you've got 15 grand to play with, what do you want to do? And you've got 5 grand down, you go, what you got? You go, well, I've got this S3 here. This is hypothetical, by the way. I don't know any of the pricing. None of this is correct. You could have this white one for 15 grand, or you could have this lovely green one. Gamera green, but that's going to cost you 18.
Yeah.
Mate's going to go, I'll have the white one, mate.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the only real frame of reference I've got that I know of is Ford commercial vehicles. And
Why's that, Ben?
and the only free colour is white. Everything else is extra. But it's not an awful lot of money extra.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's on a Transit, you know, or a Ranger or something.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at like a high-end, well, mid to high-end hatchback,
Yeah.
then they're probably going to be chucking a premium on top.
Yeah,
if
that's
you've got
true.
an Audi badge on it, a BMW badge, again, that deserves, well, they demand a premium because they've got the badges on.
Do you know what? Interesting
Do you
story.
think that's right?
I don't know. I think a lot of people. This sums up a lot of modern Audi drivers for me. This story, right? So I did some training at work about 6 months ago, and one of the women who's doing the training was I can't remember her name, Kelly, I think her name was. Really nice girl. And we were talking in the lunch break or something, and she was saying that she'd recently sold her car. She had an Audi A1,
Right.
and she'd recently sold it like a month or two beforehand. And, it's sort of 5 years old. It was one of the early A1s. 5 years old, had done, I don't know, 60-odd thousand miles. So, still a nice car, but not brand new or anything.
Yeah.
And a young girl came to buy it. Probably, I think she said she was about 19, 20, something like that.
What, private sale?
Yeah, just private sale.
Yeah.
This 19, 20-year-old girl come to buy it. And this Kelly sort of said, what is this your first car, or what have you had before? And she said, oh no, this is my second car. My first car, I've just sold my Corsa. I learned to drive my Corsa. And so she's like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, nice upgrade. What made you choose this? And she was sort of trying to figure out, what's the motivation behind buying this? And she had absolutely no clue what the engine was, how fast it was. I don't think she even knew if it was an automatic or a manual. She had no idea. She was just like, oh, to be honest, I don't know anything about cars. I don't like cars. Genuinely, she said the only reason she was buying this car was so that when she got her nails done, she could take a photo for Instagram in front of the Audi steering wheel.
Are you absolutely kidding me?
100% true. That's the only. She bought an entire car, which I don't know how much a 5-6-year-old A1 is, but it's probably still 4 or 5 grand. I would have thought. She spent. This is her entire lifestyle, her entire identity. She bought this Audi A1 so that she could post pictures of her fucking nails on Instagram.
I hate the world we live in.
So do I. I mean, just come. Like, don't get me wrong, Audis aren't my thing. If you want to go buy an Audi, crack on. If you like them, crack on. I've got nothing against it. You do whatever you want. But for that to be your sole reason for buying a car, Jesus Christ, what is happening?
Fuck me. Kill me now.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know, like... just
Apologies for the swearing, but fuck me. That is ridiculous.
awful, isn't it?
I mean,
Awful.
It is awful, and it baffles me, and it blows my mind. But on the flip side of that, I completely expected some ludicrous answer like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not a surprise. This
isn't new news.
It's disappointingly
This isn't
predictable.
Yeah. This isn't new news. Yeah, it's disappointingly predictable, isn't it?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are doing this. Like, you see people getting... I mean, not so much now, but go back 5 years ago, it's like people getting Nardo grey Audis.
Yeah.
And that was like, I'm just getting it because it's fucking cool, mate.
Yeah.
I saw it at a fucking show. It's cool.
And like in the whole car scene. It was always
It's like, okay, so you've got
airbags and Bentley wheels.
exactly on Nardo Grey.
Yeah.
So what? You've got no identity.
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically what you're telling the world, isn't it?
Mm.
And then people buying cars so they can post pictures on their Instagram. It's like you're making quite serious financial life choices.
Car is the second most expensive thing you'll ever buy.
And very, very practical and needed, but based on the fact that you think you'll get more likes on Instagram because you've got an Audi. Like, how empty must that person's life be?
And the thing is, as well, is that she's not even buying the car to post the car on Instagram. She's buying the car so she can have a backdrop for
prop.
her nail. It's a prop.
For her nails.
Yeah.
It's backwards, isn't it?
But, let's not judge. I mean, I find it completely
Fucking
baffling.
hard not to judge that, mate.
I at the end of the day, I drive a 18-year-old Volvo XC70.
And I drive over, how old's my car? 12-year-old battered old Golf.
Yeah.
So our priorities lie in different places.
Yeah,
We used to say whose is right or wrong, but it just baffles me.
Even if a lion could speak perfect English, you wouldn't understand a word he was saying. And I feel like that's the similar situation with this girl. Our lifestyles and our frame of references are so far removed that we just can't understand her choices.
No. And okay, let's move on.
But it is fucking mental.
I feel like if we keep talking about this, we could go into a real hole where we just start ripping into people's lifestyles because we don't agree with it, which is not necessarily nice.
We want good vibes.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Yeah, that was a high five for audio listeners.
That's a bit weird.
Cool. So that was one thing. Again, that started off with a positive story. I loved that colour.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I love that colour too. It's cool. I did see it in person, like I said, in certain parks, and thought that's badass.
It's
never
impressive,
saw it
isn't
before either.
Okay, a couple of other cars that I've noticed recently. Two I'm going to lump together because they're actually quite similar. Mm-hmm. And this isn't so much the cars, although they were lovely. It was more the people who were driving the cars.
Okay, I like where this is going.
So the first one, I was driving to work. This was probably about, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. Mm-hmm. I was coming down the A419, quite early in the morning, 7:45, something like that, 7:45, 8 o'clock. And I saw, on the inside lane, a CLS 63 AMG.
Nice.
Not the first shape CLS, the second shape, the slightly more rounded, less angular one.
Was it silver?
No, it's black.
Oh, right, okay.
And I saw it and I was like, ooh, that's a bit nice. I do like a CLS. It wasn't the shooting brake, it was the sort of coupe saloon one. But I thought, oh, well, that's nice. I've not seen a CLS for a while. You don't see them that much. And it was just pootling along in the inside lane doing 70 odd mile an hour. And as I came up to go past it, I sort of looked and I did a double take. I originally wanted to look over the driver and give him like a thumbs up. I was like, yeah, nice car. Uh-huh. I looked over. This woman was driving it who was, I'd say she was probably, around 70.
Fair play.
She was around 70 and she had a woolly bobble hat on.
Love that.
Right, some quite pronounced earrings.
Yeah.
And driving gloves.
Fair play.
And I just thought,
she's living her life, mate.
What a cool person.
Yeah.
I want to speak to her because she does not fit into many boxes, I don't think.
She's got a story to tell.
Yeah,
it's an enigma.
Yeah, a retired woman.
Yeah.
In her, in driving gloves and a woolly bobble hat. So I'm like, there's a bit of hippie going on, but a bit of traditional kind of upper class, sort of upper middle class kind of driving gloves in a CLS 63 AMG. I just thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And then a similar thing happened quite soon, about a week later. Again, I was just driving. It was during the day actually. I was driving up Penny Lane up the dual carriageway.
Yeah.
And again, looked over on the other side. The lights were on, and I could just see over the other side of the dual carriageway, stopped at the lights going the other way, was an R129 Mercedes SL, like I had on my £1 million dream garage.
Yeah, nice.
I think it was I think it might have even only been a 320. It wasn't like anything special. It wasn't a V12 or anything. Like I said, not even sure it was a V8, but it looked pretty tidy.
Yeah.
It was two-tone, so some of the early ones were two-tone. So like the lower half of the body was dark grey. The top half, I think, was like a lighter grey, I think. Orange indicators, like, proper proper German spec. And real nice. And again, I looked over and I wanted to try and catch the driver's eye, again, to give him a thumbs up, to be like, that's rad. And it was a very attractive girl, woman, in her, I'd say, she's around our age. I'd say late 20s, early 30s. Very nice looking. And I just thought to myself, again, what's the story there? Like, because that's not what I expected.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
I expected some,
Middle-aged man,
kind of being like, oh, look at my old Merc, like what I'd be, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it was just a very attractive young girl driving it. And she was by herself as well. So it wasn't like, there was a couple. And I just thought...
What's the story behind that?
Yeah, what is the story?
She's not taking nails in front of that steering wheel. Or she might be. It's Mercedes.
Yeah, I don't think she will be taking photos of her nails in that old 80s steering wheel.
Oh, that's a vibe, man.
Yeah, it is a vibe. It's my vibe.
I mean, I'd look at them.
It's not really an Instagram vibe.
No. But what is these days? I don't know. I'm not even on Instagram.
No, I don't know either.
Anyway.
So yeah, they were my sort of main observations that have been sticking in my head. And I think I was in love with the girl in the SL a little bit. I mean, I only saw her for about half a second, but I immediately thought, oh, marry me.
Yeah, fair enough. That does happen when you see hot girls behind hot cars, I suppose. Anyway, speaking of seeing random cars and random people driving random cars that are nice, a story just popped into my head.
Yeah.
So I took my car to get repaired the other day.
Yeah.
I had to get my brakes fixed.
Yes.
And a bit of context, I needed them done like tomorrow because the back brakes were grinding on bare metal.
Love
and
that.
There was no pad left.
Yeah, we've all been there.
And in the scenario where I'm driving to work, and I work in a place where you could probably get in trouble for that sort of stuff.
Yes.
I needed to get it done because I could not be seen driving around the car park.
It would be inappropriate.
There would be a few people going, all right, let's have a look at your car, mate,
Yeah.
sort of thing. And I'll be like, oh, sorry, you know what I mean? I'm not talking like that. Don't work in the north. Anyway, so I rang my dad and I was like, who's that bloke?
Wow, what's happened to your fucking brakes, mate?
Wow, mate, you need to come with us. That ain't safe. So I said, Dad, who's that guy you take your car to get fixed? And he was like, oh, yeah, JJ. Yeah. I was like, do you reckon he'd be able to do my brakes tomorrow if I bought the parts and took it to him? He's like, yeah, definitely. Like, he did my cam out in water pump in like a day's notice for next to nothing. So I was like, he sounds like my sort of guy.
Yeah. Good contact to have.
Yeah, he's just a one-man band. He's got his unit, blah, blah, blah. So I rang him and I was like, hello, mate, can you do my car? And he was like, yeah, cool. Come round tomorrow morning. I'll be here in the morning.
Perfect.
So I arranged to get picked up from his unit in the morning by somebody because I needed to get home and took the car there. I got there, he wasn't there. So I dropped the car off, sent him a text, and as I was leaving, walking up the road, he drives down. So he's like, oh, mate, just come back down, I'm down there.
Yeah.
So anyway, chatted to him outside. I was like, here's the keys, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, cool, I'll have it done by midday. And this was like 9 in the morning, so I was like, that's fucking rad.
Yeah.
So he rang me at midday, say, your car's done. It's like, this is awesome.
All the signs are pointing in the right direction.
This is great. And I'm one of these guys that will sit at home going, I hope they don't bloody ring me to tell me they seized one of the bolts is seized or something bollocks like that, because that happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, he rings me, yeah, it's all done, mate, come and get it, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, cool. Charlie gave me a lift down there and she dropped me off and she said, I'll see you back at home. And I didn't get home until like another hour. So she's like, where the fuck are you? I went into this guy's unit, right?
Yeah.
And there's this car. There's this car parked nose in, so I couldn't see what was inside the bonnet.
Yeah.
But it's all jacked up, and it's got like RAAA tyres on it, and I can see them. It's got this fucking massive double exhaust.
Yeah, big boys.
Like straight pipes, fucking 3-inch jobby. And
proper fist jobby.
yeah, you stick your fist in there. Do you know what I mean? And
Nice.
and then I was thinking, well, okay, all right, JJ, what's going on here then?
Yeah, come on.
What's that? And I couldn't quite figure out what it was.
What's the vibe here then?
What's the vibe here? So I couldn't quite figure out what it was. Little red thing, very narrow wheelbase, quite a small car.
Yeah.
Bonnet was open, big roll cage. Boot was open, huge roll cage in the back.
Always
fuel
good sign.
cell, and then a fuel cooler on top of the fuel cell, and
Right,
three fuel pumps running this fucking thing.
So whatever it is pretty serious.
So I was going, this doesn't quite add up. You know what I mean? We've got this tiny little car. 2 huge exhausts that look like they're straight piped and custom fabricated, a fuel cell, 3 fuel pumps, and a fuel cooler. I was like, something serious is going on there. What the fuck is going on here? I was like, JJ, thanks for doing my car, but what's that? He was like, well, and JJ, before I get into this, I've met him once, and he's like the soundest guy ever.
Yeah.
He's just probably about our age, I think. I maybe a little bit older, I'm not sure, maybe even a little bit younger. Who knows? But he clearly loves cars and engines and tinkering and building stuff and playing around. Like, he's constantly fiddling with this car.
Yeah.
As he told me. So he's like, yeah, it's a Subaru Justy. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's why I didn't recognise it.
Yeah.
I was like, but before we get into what was in this thing, I was like, so where'd you get this? And he's like, oh, it's been a family car. It's in the family. My mum had it for forever. And when she went to get rid of it, she gave it to me. And then I've had it ever since. So it's been in the family. And he said he thinks they bought it off a farmer. And he was going...
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you remember that guy, before you carry on, do you remember that guy at college that had a Justy?
Yeah.
Sean, I think his name was.
Yeah.
That thing was rad.
Yeah, the white one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it got stolen.
Did it? That sucks.
Yeah. Did it get stolen, or did it... Something bad happened to it?
Yeah,
some
maybe
criminal
broke it
activity
off.
happened to it. No, he didn't. I remember it was...
Anyway,
yeah. Sorry.
Sean's Justy was cool, but not as cool as this one. So he was telling me about the backstory of it. I was like, do you mind if I have a look around the other end? Because I didn't want to be too nosy and just walk around.
Yeah.
It's quite a tight little unit.
Because I think the Justy came with some little fucking 1.2, probably 50 horsepower.
And there ain't much room under that bonnet.
No, they're tiny.
Yeah, it's a tiny little thing. And so he's like, yeah, go round and have a look. So I squeeze round past the dog cage, bang into the dog cage. I'm like, oh, sorry, JJ. And he's like, oh, don't worry about that. And then, oh, there it is. The engine bay.
What are we talking?
1UZ. V8. Straight out your...
Wait, in a Justy?
Yeah, straight out your car, Ben. 1UZ.
Mine's a 3UZ.
3UZ. 1UZ.
Yeah. 1UZ, a lot of people say. If it's the thick block 1UZ, a lot of people say that's stronger.
And it's not just a 1UZ. It's a 1UZ with 2 big boys on either side of it. I wish I had a photo of this thing because it's like insane. I think they're GT35s on each side of this block.
Yeah.
And they don't fit, right? So
No, I'm not surprised.
So he's custom made the bonnet to have these huge scoops coming up.
Right.
And then cut them out with lids on that just house the inlet for the turbos.
Amazing.
So when the bonnet's shut, all you see is these 2 fucking turbo inlets.
Amazing.
And it just open to the elements sort of thing.
And I'm assuming, has he had to fuck around with like the bulkhead and stuff?
Oh my God. He's done everything.
Really?
So I said to him,
well, yeah.
I was like, how did you fit this in here? He's like, oh, well, a lot of work. A lot of firewall had to come out. We had to rebuild the floor pan. We had to rebuild the arch liners, the arches, the lot. Everything's been custom.
I'm assuming it's
fabricated.
not 4-wheel drive anymore.
No, it's rear-wheel drive. And it's running
Respect.
off a S13 running gear, I think.
Okay, yeah.
And it's just mental.
Yeah, this thing sounds fucking rad.
Mental.
That's a short wheelbase.
Yeah, dude, this thing's going to be lively. It is lively. This tiny little thing. I imagine the intention is that he wants to drag race it.
Is it going to be road legal?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What sort of percentage completion is it?
Well, since I saw it, he's got a YouTube channel, by the way. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's called JJ Engineering or JJ Automotive. Maybe have a look at it. We'll get a video of the car. And there's a video of him doing a burnout outside of his unit in it.
Right.
And
well, just carry on talking. I'm just going to try and find his YouTube. Then we can
have a look. Yeah. So I had a look on the YouTube, and there's reams of videos. And he's also into his Volvos.
Respect.
He's got like a 16-valve turbo Volvo 940 with a GT35, I think, on it.
Respect.
This is all from what I've seen on
B230 FT, mate.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Brick top, is that a thing?
Red top.
Red top, that's the one.
Sorry, red block.
Red block, that's right.
Yeah, here we go. J&J Vehicle Engineering is
it.
his YouTube channel. So please, everybody, go and check out J&J Vehicle Engineering. I'm not going to watch the video now. This thing looks fucking mental.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to watch the video now. That would be poor form.
Yeah, have a look at that later.
Yeah.
It's fucking mental. So on the YouTube channel, there's videos of his progress and his builds and stuff. So if you go back quite a bit,
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, it's just a bare shell, and he's custom built everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And then he puts the engine in it.
I'm gonna
gearbox.
binge that tonight, I think.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then he said he said he doesn't know how complete it is because it's always
Yeah.
He's constantly working on it, but he said it's pretty close. You know.
So I'm assuming it's not MOT'd at the moment.
No.
Okay.
So all panels are back on, engine's in. He's just had to custom fit a couple of new radiators because he was overeating.
Mm-hmm.
He's got some cool wastegates sticking out the side as well.
Nice.
Badass. And then it runs, it starts, it drives, but he's just got to get everything right.
Amazing.
So that he can get it road legal and then take it drag racing, basically.
That's sick.
And
I mean, drag racing isn't really my vibe, but respect to it. It sounds fucking mad.
Yeah, also road legal, that's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So it looks crazy. And so onto power, I said to him, what sort of power is it running?
Let me guess. So
1UZ, twin turbo.
Is the engine built?
Yep. It's forged.
Okay. All right. Okay. So he's not just slapped some turbos on,
No.
which you can do with the one
He's
you
rebuilt the engine himself. He's forged it.
So okay, I'm gonna go twin 35s. I don't know. I mean, 500 seems to be 500 and 550 seems to be a pretty safe and common number for a twin turbo 1UZ.
Yeah, so it's running north of 600
Jesus Christ.
at the moment.
Yeah.
And that was at 11 PSI boost.
Yeah. So not a lot, less than a bar.
Yeah, so he's planning to increase the boost and touch it up to... But he thinks the engine can manage north of 1,000 horsepower. Okay, so which is insane.
Again, what world are we living in?
Yeah, and it weighs a ton, probably less.
Yeah.
The engine itself is probably the heaviest part of this car.
Yeah, and it's an Alley engine as well, the one you said.
Mental. So yeah, it's going to be an absolute weapon. It's mapped.
I want to see. Yeah, I want to see this.
Yeah. Have a look later, and yeah, I'm going to follow his journey from now onwards because it is insane.
Yeah,
and it's like nothing I've ever seen before. You know, like you've seen crazy cars with crazy horsepower, like Skylines, 1,000 horsepower Skylines, or like a 700 horsepower Civic drag car, or whatever. But a Subaru Justy.
do you know what? It's funny as well because I feel like that's where the modern world is different to, say, if you go back 20 years ago. Because I remember when we were kids, obviously I was quite into the mini scene. Mm-hmm. And I remember there was this one mini van. It was called like the Beast or something, some cliche name like that.
Yeah.
And it went to all the different like big mini shows. And it was a mini van, and it was rear wheel drive. It had a big V8 up front. So again, all completely custom work, custom floor plan, everything else. Big sort of, I say big. For a mini, they were massive, but they weren't actually that big. Like proper drag rear tyres. It was like a drag setup.
Yeah.
So big rear tyres, small front tyres. I remember at the time being like, that is mental.
That is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
That is the coolest thing I've seen. But this would have been late 90s, probably. Because I think the first time I saw that was at the one of the Mini 40 celebration events. So yeah, it would have been 98, 99, whatever. But it had a Rover V8, which don't get me wrong, a great engine. I've had a Rover V8 before. I loved it, but I don't think it was supercharged. I don't think it was turboed or anything. So even if he'd properly built it up, it was probably running 300 horsepower, something like that. Which don't get me wrong, a 300 horsepower classic minivan is mental. Yeah, is still mental.
Yeah,
but it's not 1,000 horsepower Subaru Justy.
No, it's not. There's different levels to this sort of stuff, though, isn't there? You get people that like tinkering and engine swapping and all that sort of stuff. Then you get people that just like to build the craziest thing they can.
But again, I don't think.
But it's not like they. Sorry to interrupt, but it's not like they start out to build the craziest thing they can. It's like they start out engine swapping, and they're like, oh, now I'm going to turbo it. Oh, now I'm going to put some high pressure fuel pumps and a map on it and see what I can get out of it. Or now I'm going to put some big intercooler on it or whatever.
Yeah.
And over the years, because they keep tinkering, eventually they've got a forged twin turbo GT35 1UZ that runs 1,000 horsepower.
But I just think back in the day, when I say back in the day, I mean like let's go 90s. I just think that sticking a V8 in something was already mental.
Yes.
And not many people, I'm not saying no one, but not many people went further than that.
Yeah.
Like, again, I think back to even when we were teenagers and stuff, the amount of, like, you'd see Ford Capris with Rover V. I mean, again, in America, everybody LS swaps everything.
Yeah.
Or back in the day, they'd do a Chevy small block. Whereas in the UK, it was stick a Rover V8 in it.
Yeah.
But I'm not being funny, but the Rover V8, unless you spent quite a bit of money on it and built
Ain't
it
gonna
up.
get you that much power.
I remember looking on eBay once at a Capri, which had a Rover V8 swap in it. It was a really nice looking car. This is back when Capris weren't worth much. And this whole car was like $4,000. I had a Rover V8 in it, but it was just basically a standard Rover V8. And I was like, well,
What's going on here?
a standard Capri 2.8 makes 160 odd horsepower.
Yeah.
And the Rover V8 that you've stuck in probably makes 180, 190. So what's the... all right, it sounds good, I suppose, but...
It's kudos, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and it's also fun, cheap way to fuck around with V8s, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, people like that.
They're all coffee tables now.
Yeah, they are, yeah. Well, not all of them, but makes a cool coffee table.
Does make a cool coffee. That was an alley block as well, actually.
But going back to JJ, so he is clearly a guy that knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And clearly a guy that likes to just tinker and take things to the extreme. But I don't think he realises how extreme he's taking it. Because to him, it's just another day in his unit.
Yeah.
Where I walk in there, I'm just like, this is fucking nuts. You're going to die.
He's like a guy who's just slowly one day thought, I'm going to try heroin.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. like not...
I quite enjoyed that. I think tomorrow I'm going to do some more heroin.
Yeah, but obviously JJ's not a heroin addict, but this is just a really, you know, out there example of...
Before you know it, he's sucking dicks for
£3.50 down the bus shower,
so that you can get another hit.
Yeah,
because
it is, JJ, if you're listening, this is, Ben does not know who you are. He's not saying this is you. He's just saying things can get out of hand quite quickly, and I think that's, you know, what's happened with your Justy in a great way.
I think what Johnny's trying to say is, JJ, if you need some help, we're here for you.
Yeah.
My name is JJ, and I am a horsepower addict.
Yeah, literally. But the beautiful thing was, it wasn't showy.
Yeah.
It wasn't glam. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, come in, look at my car that I built. He didn't even mention it until I was just like, dude, what the fuck is that over there? He was never going to mention it.
Yeah.
No, this is just his toy that he likes to play with. He doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
It doesn't look pretty, but the engine bay looks like a work of art.
Does it?
It's
That's
beautiful.
nice. Yeah.
Beautiful. To the point where I was like, who did this? And he was like, I did it. And I was like, you did that? Like, that's amazing. But then turn my head and there's a Toyota V12 just up on an engine crane.
Amazing.
Over there.
That was Century, I assume. Well, yeah, I think that's
It's
the only
one
V12
they
they
ever
made.
made.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what's that? And he was like, oh, it's just a Toyota V12 out Century. Yeah, it's the only one they ever made. I'm going to put it in my Mark III Supra. And I was like, you got Mark III Supra? He was like, yeah, it's out the back. I was like, can I have a look?
God.
So when I look, it's a bog standard Mark III Supra, right-hand drive, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to put that in that.
Again, Mark III Supras, they were peanuts not that long ago, and they're so cool.
Yeah, proper retro.
I feel like they're a bit of a they're a neglected,
overshadowed
yeah,
by the Mark IV.
yeah, and
100%.
everything else in that era. But
Yeah.
it's a nice shape.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that heavy.
No.
I think everyone 10, 15 years ago thought, oh, it's a big heavy thing and it's not going to handle. But actually, like compared to a lot of the stuff now, it's still a light car, I think.
Yeah, won't be when he puts that V12 in. But yeah, that was his next project. And then when I was there, he'd got off the phone with somebody who was like, oh, I've just bought my 940 back. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, oh, well, I sold it to this guy in Devon a couple of years ago. Now he's selling it, so I bought it back.
Amazing.
And I was like, what's the deal with that? And he was like, oh, it's a red block turbo, just great fun thing.
Just
estate 940.
Sick Volvo.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, and then I said, oh, my mate Ben's got a Volvo.
Yeah.
He's got a 240 and an XC70. He was like, yeah, respect, man. Like Volvos.
Did he ask about the 240?
No, we didn't really get chatting about it because I was literally too busy just going, oh my god, look at your Justy, tell me more.
Yeah.
Like, I got carried away, and we were there for a little while. And I think by the end of it, he was just like, all right, Johnny, I've showed you it now. Just fuck off. I've got work to do.
I've done your brakes.
Yeah.
No.
What do you want to see next? He also had a Monday ST220 just parked out the back.
Respect.
And I was just like, I wonder how much he wants to sell that for because I want to buy that. It's lovely.
They're going up now.
Well, there was one for 1,600 quid in Chippenham the other day on Facebook Marketplace, and I was like,
Hatch or estate?
saloon. A hatch.
Yeah, then most of them are hatches.
ST220. Mondeo. It was a saloon.
I know. Yeah, they look like a saloon, but technically they're a hatchback.
Well, yeah, that.
Yeah. Not the estate.
You have me thinking then, what the fuck do you mean a hatchback? But yeah.
That's a great looking car.
Yeah. And so that was my little story on what I saw in the world of cars that stood out, and I was like, yes, we need to protect people like you.
Yeah.
Because you're a dying breed.
Yeah.
And like, it was awesome. And I rung you. As soon as I left that place, I was like, bro, I need to tell you about this car because it's fucking mental.
Incredible. Well, I want to meet JJ. Sounds like a nice guy. I want to see this Justy. Well, maybe we'll figure that out at some point.
Yeah, hopefully.
Maybe you can engine swap my Volvo for me.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Take the engine out of the Lexus and put it in the
No. The Lexus is taking shape. Actually, we've got in terms of components that we need. We've basically got the last. I think we've got the last of what we need, other than maybe the clutch.
Okay, cool.
That'll be getting done in the next couple of weeks. So springs, replacement springs for the coilovers, power steering cooler, and we still need to figure out the handbrake because the handbrake's not quite right. But yeah, that'll be awesome. That'll be good. We need to go do some skids in that soon.
Definitely.
I really want to do some skids in that soon.
Yeah, I want to try and do some skids in that because when I drifted the Mazda, that was a very good like entry level learn how to handle a car sideways. But I feel like the Lexus would probably be slightly easier because you've got more torque and more power. So once you get it sideways, keeping it out there would be smoother.
It was
maybe not the Lexus because it's not particularly a good car.
Well, the one day we did in December, it was hard.
Was it harder than the
was.
Mazda?
Yes, although it was dry. I think if we'd done it in the wet, it probably would have been as easy, if not easier, than the Mazda. But in the dry, comparing the Lexus in the dry to the Mazda in the wet, the Mazda was definitely easier.
Yeah, I think drifting anything in the wet is going to be easier than.
It was just a big part of it. We didn't have a handbrake, and also the.
That's not going to be easy.
Yeah, we didn't have a handbrake, so we couldn't initiate on the handbrake. We couldn't really clutch kick because we fried the clutch. I think we said in one of the other podcast episodes.
Yeah,
but it was and the suspension was too
wallowy.
But hopefully, with the changes we're making, it should be pretty good.
Cool.
Actually, on the subject of nice cars on the road, we've talked about this car before, and I've seen it around Swindon a few times. And it was at Little Tesco by my house the other day. I pulled up.
Yeah.
106 Quicksilver. On the nice. I don't know what wheels they are, but like the nice, the black alloys with the chrome lip.
Yeah, the silver one.
The dishy boy, yeah, the silver one.
So I know who drives that, and he did have, or maybe still does have, a Sundance yellow 106 GTI.
That Quicksilver looked so good.
They do look great.
Like
anything 106 GTI / Quicksilver looks phenomenal.
It honestly, and yeah, it's a great looking car anyway, but the stance, and when I say stance, I don't mean stance down. I mean like literally, it was lowered a bit. I think.
Yeah, it's not crazy.
Wasn't on the deck, but it was just he'd taken maybe 30 mil out of it. A couple of clicks on the old torsion bar on the back.
Yeah.
And so it's just sat perfectly. The wheel choice was exquisite. And that's all I could. Maybe there was an exhaust on it or something.
Lovely car.
It just looked so fucking cool. And the really sad thing was, I parked up and I went into Tesco, and I was trying to sort of see who was in the shop and whether I could work out who owned it, because I have no idea who this guy is. And put it this way, I worked out pretty quick who owned it, because of all the people in that shop, only one of the people I saw could possibly own a 106 Quicksilver.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that in a good or a bad way. It was just very obvious who it was.
Yeah.
And so I sort of came, and he paid and went out before I did. And as I was coming out of the shop, I sort of made it really obvious that I was checking his car out. And I wanted to catch his eye, to be like, that was sick. And I wanted to go and talk to him about it, to be honest with you. But he was there with one of his mates who was driving some Golf or some shit, I don't know, and they were chatting away, and I just tried to catch his eye a few times, and I made it really obvious that I was checking his car out, and he just either he didn't see me or he did see me and he thought I was a weirdo or whatever, but you know, the fact that I'd pulled up in a fucking battered old XC70, probably, you know, he didn't think I'd be interested, but oh man, what a car! It was gorgeous.
They are nice, aren't they?
106s are starting to go up quite well.
Mate, the 106 GTI has been up.
Yeah, the
for a
GTI,
while.
yeah, that's fair. But even the Quicksilvers are
But
worth
there's none of them
now.
around.
No.
There's literally, wow. I reckon you can. There's a website you can check, isn't there? How
many
registered?
left.com or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
That's a shame, isn't it?
It is a shame.
I saw an MGZR today.
Did you?
Yeah.
End of conversation. That's cool.
It was a ZR105.
Yeah.
So the 1.4, and I listened to it start up and drive away, and man, that K series has got such a distinct sound.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
If a healthy K series is a peach of an engine, doesn't matter what displacement it is.
Yeah, they do sound good.
If they're healthy, they're a great unit.
Yeah, they are. Unit. Right. So anyway, seen any of the nice cars? I don't think I have.
No.
Not that have stood out anyway.
Oh, I did see one that stood out the other day. For the first time in I can't remember how long, I saw an Alfa Romeo 166. And that is a car that in period, so when I was, when we were younger, when we were teenagers, when they were new, I never liked them.
But you like them now.
And
they're the ones that look like really boxy, but the front's kind of tilted down a bit.
No, I think you're thinking of a 164.
Yeah,
the
maybe.
166. The 166 was like the flagship Alfa for a little while.
Yeah, I'm not.
So you know the
massively
156.
aware of them.
It,
What did Ross have? That black one Ross had.
that was a 75 or a 33 or something like that.
Oh, I can't remember.
No, it's much newer than that. We're talking early 2000s.
Right. Okay.
Let me try and find a quick picture for you. But in period, I never liked them because I always thought the front end, the headlights on the pre-facelift model were really tiny.
Right.
And I don't like them. It looked like they had...
Yeah, I think I know the ones you mean now.
Their eyes were just like
tiny
their
little
tiny little
round
eyes.
things.
And I didn't like that. They fixed that with a facelift, and I'm pretty sure the one I saw was a facelift. But I saw it in traffic from the back.
Right.
And it was just... The proportions were so good. Look at that. Again, for audio listeners, I apologise. But, Google an Alfa Romeo 166. Look at that.
Yeah, that does it. Nice.
Wow. What a piece of design that is. That has aged so well. Because, again, I never liked them when they were new.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a lovely piece of design. That.
Beautiful, isn't it? Again, I'm not one of these people that crap on about Alfa Romeos. I've never had one.
Yeah, that's nice.
And I know that Jeremy Clarkson's always said, you can't be a petrolhead unless you own an Alfa. I've never owned an Alfa.
Yeah, they're nice, mate.
But there are a few that really do catch my eye. And that is... See what I mean about the pre-facelift?
Yeah, don't like that.
The eyes are too small.
Yeah.
Looks squinty.
Out of proportion, certainly. Yeah, lovely.
Really nice.
Yeah, don't see them. Oh, wow.
So that's the only other car really that I've seen recently that made an impression.
Yeah. I mean, there hasn't been many I've seen. I did see a DB9 the other day, parked on a drive opposite my sister's house, and I thought that's just lovely. Piece of pure elegance.
They're delicious, aren't they?
Yeah. And that's about it. I do see some crazy cars at the golf course. Like there's this lovely...
Unsurprising. Mark 6 Golf TDI?
2010? No. There's this lovely E91 Alpine
Really?
up there.
Oh.
This lovely green. Beautiful car.
Send me a photo next time you see it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to see that.
It's lovely. And there's a guy that drives a range of Aston Martins.
Respect.
I can't tell if it's the same guy, but it's always in the same parking space, but it's a different Aston Martin.
Oh, really?
So I'm not sure if he's got like a few or whether it's just where Aston Martins park.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've always liked Aston Martins, but now that Alonso is getting the job done,
You're all over it,
I'm Mr. Aston Martin.
Nice.
This is going to go out the day after the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, so if he has a stinker, this is going to age badly. But fingers crossed. So I'm Aston all over now.
Yeah.
We still need to go see Sammy P.
Yeah, we do, yeah. Yeah, we do. We'll do that soon.
Yeah, we'll do that soon.
We'll get in touch with him. Sammy P, if you're listening, if you've got any free dates in the diary, hit us up, because we're going to come down and see you.
Here's what we want to do, is we want to try and create a supercar spotting video.
I want to try and create a gymkhana through London in Sammy P's Aston Martin when the roads aren't closed. If you're down, let us know.
Sam, we can skid it. I promise. We won't crash. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, we're not doing that. That'd be awesome, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, go see Sammy P, talk to him about his Aston, and maybe do some supercar spotting in London. Because we've never done that before.
Go try and find some £1 million Ferraris just parked up.
And some interesting old shit boxes.
Yeah.
Because that's more my speed.
Yeah, I'm not into hypercars, personally. But I would like to see £1 million Ferrari just parked on the side of the road. You know, that's pretty cool. Never seen that in my life.
No, neither have I.
You know, but London's the place to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
I want to just take 5 minutes to just have a bit of a rant.
Okay. Should we try and make this a regular segment?
Yeah. What should we call it?
Rant Alley.
Rant Alley.
We are now turning down Rant Alley.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make a little music bumper.
Rant Alley, Rant Alley. Ooh, what are you going to say? Rant Alley, Rant Alley. Who's Alley? Yeah, so this week I've been noticing things that are really annoying me.
Nissan Qashqais.
Derek's. For those that don't know, Derek is a guy that we made up that drives a Qashqai. We made a song about it. We will release that song one day. But not now. Yeah, so I've been getting annoyed, basically, at people. And that isn't a normal thing for me.
You have to be more specific, just the general populace or what?
People in cars.
Yeah.
Not necessarily whilst I'm driving, but maybe whilst I'm a pedestrian and I'm noticing things, or whilst I'm driving, or whatever. Or there's a range of things. So
yeah.
First thing I just need to get out there. I've said this a few times to you. What the fuck is up with people tuning their cars to make them sound like they're in an active war zone when they're not on the throttle? What is that all about?
Some of it is manufacturer made.
Yeah, but you can tell the difference.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
The manufacturer made stuff is, and I don't mind this, is more of a blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
a burble. A blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
A burble. Now I don't like the VAG group DSG gear change farting. That's flipping awful.
That's annoying.
But what I'm talking about specifically is tuned 4-pot turbo engines that are deliberately mapped that when you come off the throttle, it dumps a load of fuel into a hot exhaust and it blows up like you're in Baghdad.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang.
It's awful, isn't it? You don't look cool.
You don't sound cool.
No.
You look like a bellend.
Yeah.
You sound like an absolute twat.
Yeah.
And I can't help but thinking that people that do this to their cars are morons. Now I'm sorry if you've got this to your car and you love it. That's fair enough. That's your thing. And by all means, there's things that I love that you probably don't. But I personally don't
Mark
get
6
it.
Golf, TDI.
Yeah, my car's a piece of shit. But I personally don't get it. And I live on a road.
Yeah,
which
a
is
busy road.
a fairly busy road. It's not a fast road, but it's a road that is a mini roundabout just there.
Yeah.
And there's a traffic light set down there. So between those bits, it's like, let's rock and go as fast as we can. I don't let off.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time. I live my life 50 yards at a time.
I'll live my life 50 yards at a time in a 30. And that's why I've got a bang, crackle, pop map, or whatever you bloody call it. Jesus Christ. So they come off that roundabout, boot it up towards the traffic lights, and then realise I'm probably going a bit fast.
Yeah.
So come off the throttle.
Yeah.
And then all hell breaks loose. Right? And I'm sometimes sat in where I'm sat now having my food, and it's like there's a mass shooting outside. You know, I'm expecting the Blues and Twos to come up and corner it off because there's been a murder. You know? And this happens regularly. And I was coming home the other day on foot from the shop, and a Corsa drove past and went bang, 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 bang in the middle of the day, right? And I'm just thinking that is the most antisocial thing I've ever heard. And I said out loud, "You're a fucking idiot." And then I thought, what am I doing? Why am I letting that get to me to the point where I am now verbalising to myself in my driveway that I don't like that person?
Yeah.
And that's what gets to me, is that these trends are bringing the worst out in me.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, because I'm probably sounding like an old man, right? But when we were at the age where we like to modify our cars,
Yeah.
a nice back box or a catback
Yeah.
was acceptable because it gave you a nice little low down rumble.
Oh.
God.
Mabel's having a freak out.
Mabel! Gave you a nice little low down rumble
Yeah.
and maybe a little bit of overrun,
Maybe a little bit overrun.
which is nice, but it wouldn't pop and bang.
No, and again, I assume it's because engine management and stuff is so more advanced these days that you can do that. The only car I've ever had that did pops and bangs was, do you remember my ZR Turbo? That was a proper Asbo wagon. So this
was
is
an absolute boost bus.
This is
Boost bus? No, it wasn't a bus.
pot calling a kettle black a little bit here, but that was if you literally boosted all the way through second, it was usually second, hit the limiter once, then changed, big old pop of flame out the back.
I don't mind that because
it wasn't intentional.
Exactly.
I mean, I did it intentionally, but only after I learnt how to make it happen because
Exactly.
it was happening as a byproduct
of fueling
yeah.
a lot.
I mean, the car probably not being set up particularly well, but it was fast. So
But the thing is, you had to redline it. Mm-hmm. You had to get it boosting quite hard.
yeah,
Whereas these tuners are like, we're going to make this happen at the least stressful moment this car's under because I don't want them coming back saying they've blown their turbo up.
yeah.
You know, so they're like, okay, at 2,000 RPM, if you let off, we're going to dump a load of fuel into the exhaust.
Yeah.
You know, so you're not actually going that fast.
No.
So we're not condoning you driving fast, but you know, we're giving you what you want.
It's just
So it's pointless.
it's peacocking,
It is.
and you look like a twat.
Oh God, it fucks me off.
But again, maybe it's the same with the Instagram woman. Maybe we're just out of touch. Maybe people love that shit.
Maybe they do.
But it is annoying. I remember the worst experience I've had with that is when I lived in Purton. There was a guy who lived down my road who had a Focus ST, 5-pot ST.
Nice engine.
Quite a nice car.
Yeah.
You know, it was knackered. It must have been, because this would have been 7-8 years ago. So, you know, it would have been maybe a 10-year-old car. So not that old. But it must have been one of the highest mileage, worst conditions ST I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
It was hanging. It was absolutely battered. And he used to drive past because you know what? You could drive past my house to carry on going down the housing estate.
Yeah.
And he used to come and go all hours of the day and night and just absolutely boost it past. And then it wasn't just a couple of bangs. It was a sustained
Yeah.
It's like,
Dude, stop.
you are not Walter Roll with fucking anti-lag on the fucking Monte Carlo rally. Like, stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it now.
I want to go out the front of my house with a sign saying "Pop and Crackle Maps are for bell ends" in big letters. Like, I want to do that, but I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm doing it. You know?
Yeah. And that's the other thing, is that it makes your day worse.
Yeah.
And it makes your mood worse.
Yeah, so that's my biggest bugbear of the week.
Okay.
I've got a few more. I just want to get them out there.
Okay.
'Cause I feel like I need to de-stress. I need to vent. I need to get this out.
Man, get it out.
And you're my therapist in
Get
this
it-
moment,
get
okay?
it out.
Because I'm holding us all in and I'm getting stressed.
We
I'm
are.
getting more grey by the minute.
We are. Just imagine this. We're parked up in the XC.
Oh, good.
Heated seats are on.
I'm already calmer.
We're chilling. We've got some nice calm music on, and we're sat outside a Chinese takeaway, waiting for our food to be ready, and we're just sat at the side of the road down Rant Alley.
Okay, we're down Rant Alley. I love it.
So carry on.
So, going back to
Nissan Cash guys.
Derek, I saw, and I see this quite often,
Yeah.
like old Fiestas, not old Fiestas, like a 2005 Fiesta, for instance.
Yeah. Mark 6.
Seven,
That would be
6.
Mark 6.
The
The one with the 2-litre ST version, or the one newer than that.
one with one with 150 horsepower.
Yeah,
ST
yeah,
engine
yeah.
in
So that'd be Mark 6. I'm sure.
So I'm not seeing STs. I love them. I haven't seen any.
Nice cars.
I haven't seen one of them for fucking ages. But I'm not picking on these cars. I'm just saying this is one I saw and it's stuck in my brain.
Okay, so this is a specific instance.
Yeah. I was
Okay.
at a roundabout, and it's not to do with the person driving it or they're driving.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've chosen to do what I'm about to say.
Right.
And it's not actually that bad. And I don't know why I'm really laying into that thick. But window stickers, man. And I'm not just talking about like a Fiesta Owners Club sticker.
Yeah.
That's cool. Or I don't mind that.
Can I...
You can come in a sec.
Right, because I need to say something about window stickers that drives me up the fucking wall. But carry on.
Okay.
I want to know if it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I know what you're going to say. But in this instance, this person had a huge
Sorry, carry on.
huge rear window sticker
Yeah.
that said something like I don't know what it was, but it was clearly some sort of car group thing.
Yes.
And it was huge, took over the whole of the window, and it just looked shit. There's no other word to describe it. And I was just like, what? I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
I just didn't get it. Now, I don't mind rear window stickers.
Yeah.
Unless, for obvious purposes, if it's marketing for a business.
Yeah, that's
and
different.
it's
That's different, yeah.
That's different. I don't mind any of that. You could put up the most hideous thing in the world, and I go, do you know what? You're trying to make a living. That's cool.
Silly.
But I also don't mind little ones like a MGZR Owners Club we used to get.
I used to have one of those, yeah.
Loads of those.
MGOver.org.
But it's these big flipping hideous things that just don't look.
I think it's actually a local group here. I can't remember what they're called because there's a
We're about to get lynched.
Yeah. There's a bunch of Civics in. Oh, sorry. There was a house in Highworth that had I think 2 Civics, and they both had these massive, and they were like the like shiny rainbow stickers. Maybe
I think it said something Bible on it or something. I don't know. It's like
I don't know.
But yeah, I just couldn't quite get my head around why anybody would want to do that to their car. But again, who am I?
Takes all kinds.
Who am I? The more I talk, the more I think maybe I am just out of touch and I'm turning into a miserable old man. You know? But then again, I need to get off my chest. If it affects me, I need to talk to someone about
That's
it.
true. That's why we're chilling down Rant Alley.
Yeah. Another one came into my mind the other day. I was driving along back from the golf club. I sound like such a toff. And there was a Honda Civic in front of me.
Yeah.
The spaceship-looking one.
Yeah.
And we were in slow-moving traffic.
Yeah.
Right? Coming off the A419, you go over the bridge, and it's like a 30 down Thames Down Drive.
Yes. Yeah.
And we were going about 20 to 30 miles an hour, and he was in front of me. Bearing in mind, he'd booted it to get in front of me, to get into the one-way bit, one-lane bit.
Yeah.
And then he was slowing down to get about a 30-metre gap in front of him, and then he was just caning it in first gear.
Twat.
And then braking heavily, and then kept doing it. And I was sat there going, what are you doing?
Yeah,
like,
what's
what
the
are you
point?
doing? Like,
what are you doing?
You're just making yourself look like...
Was it Type R?
Yeah, it was. But
even so, it doesn't matter. Like dick move.
Dick move, man. And I was just like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he was trying to race somebody off the traffic lights. And bearing in mind, this traffic light stretch is 60 metres between the traffic lights we were at and the next set. So...
Yeah,
what
I keep...
The dog's going mental.
No, she's not going mental. She just keeps fucking up the tripod.
All right, hey, Bob.
We're going with that, my love.
Yeah, sweet. I just thought you were an idiot. And then...
You've just triggered me to something that I need to mention as well.
Okay.
Because carry on. Sorry.
let me just...
Yeah.
And I'll give you your stage at Rant Alley in a sec.
Yeah.
Today, I was driving off a roundabout, and it goes from 2 lanes into 1 lane. Right?
Yeah.
That roundabout near your work. We're going up towards Gable Cross, and
yes, yeah.
So I'm in the
Yep.
I'm in the outside lane trying to merge into the lane.
Yeah.
And this E46 comes at my inside.
I think I know where you're going to go with this,
and deliberately doesn't let me in.
I fucking hate that.
Deliberately doesn't let me in.
I fucking hate that. I get that all the time coming off junction 16.
And they don't even look at me.
No, that's what I mean. No eye
I'm
contact.
going, I need to get in, and they just... Yeah. They know I'm there because they deliberately sped up to block me.
They're too scared to make eye contact because they know they're being a twat.
Yeah, what is that about?
I fucking hate that. Is one of the drive your car fast, whatever. I've done some stupid shit before. I get that. I get if you're driving it a bit quick. Like today, some fucking twat in a BMW 91 undertook me on the 4.9 getting here this evening. I was he was probably doing 100 mile an hour, and he undertook me and was weaving in between cars.
Yeah.
That is a bit much. But all I thought was, you're a dick.
Yeah.
Whereas if somebody does what you're describing,
It pissed me off.
I maintain, I make a big effort not to suffer from road rage, because I used to when I was younger. I think everyone does, but I make a real conscious effort not to get ragey in the car.
Yeah.
But what you've just described, I immediately want to just get out and throttle whoever the other person is.
It was a woman.
Yeah, no.
She knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
Right? And man, woman, whatever. But it just shocked me.
Yeah.
Like,
what are you gaining?
and
What are you gaining?
what are you gaining?
What's the
One space.
Yeah, what's the end goal here?
Yeah.
Do you really think that you've made your life so much easier by being 5 meters ahead of me in a fucking traffic queue that stood still anyway? Like, fuck off.
Yeah, literally.
You got me all riled up now.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was with Charlie, right? And she said, "What a dick.
Yeah.
Why can't people just be nice?"
Mm-hmm.
And those are her words. And do you know what? That sums it up.
Yeah.
People are choosing to be dicks.
Yeah.
Because they think they have a right to do that because they're protected because they're inside their car.
Yeah.
And you think, just be nice. Just be nice.
Here's Ben and John's top tips for today. Don't be a dick. Be nice. And if somebody's trying to merge into the lane in front of you,
let them in.
just let them in. Even if they're being cheeky, just fucking let them in.
Literally.
It doesn't matter, does it?
Oh, my last one.
Yeah.
This one really fucks me off. Right, this is probably up there. Right?
Yeah.
When I was driving back from work.
If my job here is being your therapist, I'm not doing a very good job.
You
You just pissed me off.
Sorry, but you're letting me talk.
Yeah, okay.
And that's part of it. Active listening, Ben. You're doing a good job.
Lovely. I appreciate it.
So anyway, my last one. I'll wrap this up quite quickly. But driving back from work, when I was working in Melksham the other day, which is probably 30 miles away.
Mm-hmm. I think the dog's farted.
It's bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Karen.
Audio listeners, thankfully you can't. Oh, well, even the video. Smelly vision isn't a thing yet, is it? Sorry, I'm living in the future. Yeah. So anyway,
driving back from Melksham. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. And there's this long straight bit of road that runs. It's like a bypass bit of road, but it's literally dead straight, probably for about a mile and a half.
Yeah.
Really long, really straight. B road, no dramas.
Yeah.
And it's usually quite busy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was driving down there in a long queue of traffic, probably moving about 50 miles an hour, and there was an ambulance all the way down the bottom of the other end of the road.
Yeah.
Coming our way.
Oh, so coming towards you.
Coming towards us.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm thinking, that's cool. We've got nothing to worry about here.
You got it.
The ambulance is on the other side of the road, and we just need to get out of its way by progressing on our journey. That way, as we are doing, we get out of its way.
We need to progress forward on a westerly fashion.
Indeed. We need to make sure that we're not getting in the way of this ambulance.
Yeah.
And if we do need to pull over for whatever reason, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, to make way for it. The guy 10 cars ahead of me, maybe not 10, maybe 5 cars ahead of me,
Yeah.
sees the ambulance and clearly shits himself and stops. Right? So now, there's probably 20 cars in this string of traffic stopped on the road, effectively creating a fucking roadblock.
God.
Right? You see where I'm going here?
Yeah, have some common sense.
So if that ambulance, for whatever reason, needs to negate past a cyclist on his side of the road, or a motorbike, or a slow-moving moped, he now cannot move over onto our side of the road when there's a gap to get past, because everyone on our side of the road is blocking the fucking road, because Derek in his Qashqai is stopped because he goes, I'm not going to move until the ambulance is passed, I must make way for the ambulance. Derek, what you're effectively doing is creating a roadblock. If you carried on your journey, you would have been past that ambulance 30 seconds a minute ago.
Oh, God.
And I was just like, what level of intelligence do these people possess that think they need to stop in order to let the ambulance pass when they're actually just creating a problem? And I just feel sorry for the ambulance drivers because they must get this all the time.
Yeah.
And it's clearly not just this. If I was an ambulance driver, I'd probably list off 10 things I hate about what people do when they see an ambulance.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
And I just thought, those poor bastards are driving around, saving lives, and they have to deal with morons creating problems for them when they've got more problems on their hand than
They
they
got
can even
bigger fish to
comprehend.
fry.
You know, I just felt sorry for them, and I thought it's people creating these problems.
Also, here's something just to go off on a tangent. Here's something that makes ambulance drivers' lives even more difficult. I didn't know this until, unfortunately, I was in one. Mm-hmm. The ambulance drivers have to wait with the patient in the ambulance until there's a bed free.
Yeah. There's sometimes queues and queues and queues.
So they're just sat outside the hospital for like sometimes 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I know. It's mental.
It's like, you've got a machine there that's worth, I don't know how much an ambulance is, probably 100 grand.
100 grand, easy.
Even
Maybe more.
Yeah, you've got 100 grand asset just sat there with 2 highly trained, skilled people in there. Basically being a fucking
Rolling ward.
mobile waiting room.
Yeah.
Just waiting for a bed to be free.
Mental.
There's got to be a better way of doing that.
Let's not get into that.
No.
So right, that's my rant over on Rant Alley. Thank you for bearing with me.
It's okay. I enjoyed it. You got me a bit riled up.
If you've got any rants you'd like to just express on Rant Alley, please be my guest and I will sit here and listen.
I've got a few historic rants that I've got saved up, but maybe that we'll park Rant Alley for now. We'll depart.
Yep.
We'll go back onto Chill Street.
Thank flipping hell for that.
And then next week we'll just dive in and park up in Rant Alley a little bit again.
Okay. We need to be in Rant Alley for as little time as possible.
Yes.
Because it's not a good place to be.
Not a good place to be.
No.
Let's end on a positive note, shall we?
Absolutely.
I haven't got one lined up.
Bugger.
let me just have a quick look at my notes, see if there's anything that I can just do. A quick little thing. Okay, yeah, here's one. Just a little thought I had the other day. Don't get sunroofs in cars anymore.
Don't you?
What's that about?
Do not.
No, not really. When was the last time you saw a car with a sunroof? Okay, you get fancy panoramic roofs and glass roofs and all this kind of shit. But when was the last time you just saw a car?
What a cheeky little...
Just a little, little electric panel.
With a shutter on it.
Yeah. When was the last time you saw one of those? They were, when we were kids,
I feel like rage, man.
Every car that was more than just a basic hatchback, if you had a little bit of spec on your car, like your parents' car or whatever,
sunroof.
It had a sunroof. It had an electric sunroof.
Not even an electric one.
Yeah.
Even a wind-up.
My 240's got a wind-up sunroof.
Them.
It was rad, isn't it?
Yeah, they got little...
The Lexus, the GS, the drift car's got an electric sunroof.
Yeah.
But it seems like in the 2020s, or even the 2010s probably, people just stopped digging sunroofs. What's that about?
I don't know. I hadn't even ever thought of that. I'm going to start looking around to see what's got sunroof.
This occurred to me because I was expecting my XC70 to have a sunroof.
And it doesn't.
And it doesn't have one. I mean, that's an old car, so that doesn't demonstrate my point. But I just thought, you don't really...
Interesting. I'll keep an eye out.
I mean, that's not really a positive note, but just, one to ponder, perhaps.
One to ponder. Have a look at cars.
What happened to
sunroofs?
The sunroof.
The death of the sunroof. When did it happen? It snuck under the radar.
Snuck under the radar.
It's conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy theory. They thought, right, these people, they're getting too much
radiation,
fresh
from the
air
sun.
on top of their head. Yeah. We need to slowly phase this one out. Just just give them fucking £3,000 panoramic glass shite instead.
No one will ever know.
No one will ever know. Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Fucking hell, Ben. You're onto something. So there you go.
Should we leave that there?
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in again for episode 5 of the podcast.
Hopefully, even though we didn't have a plan, hopefully this one sort of meandered its way to a fairly rewarding and satisfactory conclusion.
Yeah, and if you liked it, please let us know. We'd appreciate that. Yeah.
Who knows if we'll have a subject lined up for the next one? Maybe we will. Maybe we won't.
Yeah, we'll come up with something.
Okay, cool.
Sure we will. We've been doing some exciting stuff recently.
Yes, we actually filmed a video. Wow, we filmed a video last weekend.
But it all went to plan on the shoot, but in post it wasn't quite there because some of the footage from the GoPro...
All of the footage from the GoPro.
...is pretty much unusable due to audio issues. However, we won't dwell into that. We're going to reshoot the bits that we lost and we're going to produce... The XC70 video.
Yeah, it's not going to be anything too exciting, but
What do you mean? It's the XC70. Very exciting, Ben.
We're going to try and make it as exciting as we can. It's our first proper YouTube video in
years.
Couple of years, yeah.
So yeah, watch this space for that. That'll be on your YouTube in like a couple of weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, something like that.
And then from that point onwards, we are going to start trying it. Well, we are going to get into doing one a month. Just a nice, decent, put some effort in, decent YouTube video every month.
Yeah, and then the podcast be every week.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm really enjoying the podcast.
I'm digging it, mate.
Really enjoying it.
I'm digging
Why didn't we do this sooner?
I don't know.
Anyway, on that note, we're out of
I tell you what, it would very, very much help us out if you could like and leave a comment on YouTube. Even if you're listening to this on Apple, just go onto YouTube, find this episode, just give it a like and drop a little comment. Even if the comment is, you guys are a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Because if we do see a comment that says, you guys are a bunch of fucking idiots, we're going to take that positively that you listen to the end of this podcast.
Yeah. Okay,
so,
cool.
yeah, we're trying to get back into it. If you could help out the algorithm and the stats and all that kind of stuff. So just give us a like, give us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify if you could.
Yeah.
If you think we deserve it.
Yeah. And if you're not already a subscriber on YouTube, please subscribe.
Hit the subscribe button.
It does help. We're getting lonely out here.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. All right, cool. See you on the next one. Bit weird. For audio listeners, Ben just touched me inappropriately. Actually, I touched him. Right, see you later.
Yeah, next week. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh. How long are we going then?
1 hour 10.
Perfect. That got a bit passionate.